What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego back with some more boxing. Back with my new installment, a series I have called Ego's Matchmakers. Real simple. I come up with the matches as if I work for Top Rank, Golden Boy, etc. Come up with interesting, intriguing matches and explain to you, the fan, why I want to see them, what makes them intriguing, and why I would put this together if I was in the position. I'm trying to keep this as realistic as possible, so there's plenty of good matches that we don't know if we'll ever see based on the promotional Cold War. So I'm not going to really put as many or as much emphasis, as you could say, on fights that I don't think are logically set to happen, like Mayweather versus Timothy Bradley. As you guys know, Mayweather works with Mayweather Promotions, oftentimes with Golden Boy, and Timothy Bradley's over there with Top Rank. So I'm trying to refrain from that and do matches that are actually feasible. Not gonna have no one coming up 4 weight classes to fight or some crazy shit like Mikey Garcia moving up a whole bunch of weight classes to fight Pacquiao. Anything crazy like that, unless it seems logical that that move could happen or if he naturally moves up. So this is my latest one. I think for the main event, James Kirkland versus Canelo Alvarez. Saul Canelo Alvarez. Great match. I'll explain why I feel this would be a good match. I think boxing is all about timing. Timing is one of the most important things. Um, Canelo was coming off his first career loss. He turned pro at age 15, fought a lot of people in Mexico, learned on the job, and he received his first loss. And it wasn't um, as bad of a loss as others. It's a loss you can learn from. Um, he fought on the Mayweather. He fought against Mayweather, which was a top pound for pound guy. So nothing to hold his head low about. I just think he wasn't ready, didn't have all the tools, and know how to put it all together to beat Mayweather. Then you have James Kirkland, kind of a wild card. You don't really know what you're going to get. Sometimes he's unstable. Sometimes he fires and wolf. Sometimes he doesn't look focused and he gets knocked out by like the Japanese dude Ishida. Um, Sometimes he looks like he did in the Carlos Molina fight, just piss poor. Um, then you have the Kirkland that arrived and showed up against Glenn Tapia. Now, that was a fight. That was a scrap where if Kirkland wasn't focused, he was coming off a long layoff. That could have been bad news for him. It could have spelled bad news because Glenn Tapia Jr. looks huge. He looks big for 154, very built. And we all know that being built doesn't necessarily translate to power, but I think he has at least respectable pop. Glenn Tapia was swinging for the fences from opening bell. He tried to make it an all-out war, possibly shot his wad and gassed out a little bit. But luckily, James Kirkland, being the warrior he is, was able to push the attack and then show that separation where the experience and the relentlessness just grind. It was grinding, 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 and he finally was able to get Glenn Tapia out of there. And it was a great, impressive performances. Now, this fight with Kirkland and Canelo was actually supposed to take place way back when, right around the time they were talking about Paul Williams and Canelo before Paul Williams got in this tragic accident. They were also talking about a Kirkland fight. Kirkland, I don't remember the exact reason why it didn't happen. I think money was part of it. He was having issues with his then promoter, Golden Boy. Um, I think Kirkland priced himself out or got injured, something crazy. So the fight didn't take place. Now, I would love to see this fight take place. They're talking about making a Canelo fight with Cotto. Don't know if that's going to go through. Cotto possibly is fighting Sergio Martinez. And even if he loses to Martinez, they can make a Canelo fight and Cotto fight down the line. It's not going to lose much steam. But if Cotto were to lose to Canelo, then there would really be no reason for him to move up and weight and then fight Sergio Martinez because people just seen him lose at 54. So I think Cotto is nearing the end of his career, so he's trying to double dip a little bit. He's trying to take the super challenge, which against Sergio Martinez, and that's really a big challenge because he's going up in weight. He's going up to 160 to fight. Um, and even if he loses, win, lose, or draw, unless it's something crazy or something really severe, and he takes a lot of punishment, Canelo fight can be made down the line. So it doesn't look like the Canelo Cotto fight will happen. And don't get me wrong, I would love to see Canelo versus Cotto. Mexico versus Puerto Rico always have great fights. But dare I say, I would rather see James Kirkland and Canelo even before I seen a Cotto versus Canelo. One thing behind Cotto versus Canelo, we all know that Cotto is not the biggest guy at 154. He's not necessarily a true 154 pounder. He gets away with it, possibly based on his experience, power, and that kind of stuff. But he's not the biggest guy at 154. Canelo is really big, also for 154. So I'd really want to see Canelo branch away and start fighting more and more fighters who are true 154 pounders. Austin Trout was one, and there's a lot of people that haven't been. Josecito Lopez, a career 140 pounder, 135 pounder, or whatever. Mayweather is not a true 154 pounder, only fought there 2 times previously. Matthew Hatton, and the list goes on. So, as far as Canelo, I just want to see him matched against a true 154 pounder, somebody who actually looks and probably punches like a 154 pounder, just to see how he does and how he reacts. I love to see how fighters look against adversity, and I think this could bring the best out of both fighters. You also have other fighters like Erislandy Lara versus Canelo, which would be a good fight. But I think Erislandy Lara has some unfinished business with Angulo. The fight was a great fight. It was actually tougher for Erislandy Lara than I expected. Styles make fights. You've seen Erislandy Lara, very stellar performance against Austin Trout. He was beating Trout to the punch. He looked a lot slicker, quicker, and just overall outboxed and dominated Trout, knocking him down, I believe, in the 11th round. The Angulo fight was getting great, and Angulo had this huge knot that started forming, very reminiscent to Hasim Rockman when he had that big ass like crater bubble forming on his forehead. Angulo had that shit, turned his back. The fight was stopped because Angulo couldn't continue. So a rematch with Lara would be great. I would love to see that particular fight just to see how Erislandy Lara does. He looked good against Austin Trout. I want to see what he learned in that fight with Angulo when they fought the first time. Angulo was able to cut off the ring and knock him down twice. And that was before he got stopped. So I think there's a little bit of unfinished business, especially since all the fighters in this Egos matchmaker fight at 154. That would be interesting. It'd kind of be like a Mortal Kombat, an elimination tournament, like a Kumite, where if the winner from Kirkland and Canelo faces the winner of Angulo versus Lara, Lara can prove that his win over Angulo wasn't a fluke and he wasn't saved by the injury, or Angulo can come back and avenge Lara. Either way, I think both fighters would deserve that ultimate shot against Kirkland or Canelo. And as far as Kirkland, he already fought Angulo as well, but Kirkland had trouble with him as well and was able to stop Angulo. So if Angulo won, it would be a rematch with Kirkland, which was a great fight and it was a tough fight. Plus, Angulo's with Virgil Hunter now, so I would love to see how he looks in this new fight. If he's improved, if Virgil Hunter has a better game plan for him, and Kirkland, I want to see how he looks because again against Clint Tapia he looked really good. But if Kirkland won and fought Erislandy Lara, another good fight. Kirkland is relentless. Lara doesn't necessarily like pressure. Kirkland's better on the inside. Laura's a better boxer with more footwork. So any way you slice this, it's fireworks. These two fights, in my opinion, Kirkland and Canelo, is fireworks. Angulo versus Lara, the first one was fireworks, so this would be fireworks. And with all four guys, despite who won, I think it would be a good matchup, and it would kind of be like an elimination because these are really like some of the top dudes at 154, if not the top dudes. I mean, I don't know if I really left anyone out. So Kirkland Canelo, great fight. I would really be anxious to see how Canelo reacts to someone who may have a bigger punch than him. We don't know. I haven't been hit by both fighters, so I don't know who punches harder. But I want to see how Canelo deals with a big puncher and someone who offers the grit and pressure that Kirkland does. And then as far as Kirkland, I want to see how he deals with someone who has some more experience than Glenn Tapia. Canelo, he hasn't had a lot of he didn't have like amateur experience, but he learned a lot on the job just fighting and with his fights with Austin Trout and Mayweather. So I'm anxious, and again, it's back to the timing. I'm anxious to see what Canelo brings, especially coming off a loss and Kirkland looking so good. I want to see what Canelo shows up. Is he going to be really focused and hungry, or is it going to look like he lost a step? Canelo's a great boxer puncher. He shows that he has more tools than a lot of people initially thought. So, a hell of a matchup with Kirkland. And again, this was a matchup that was supposed to take place already, and I think it makes more sense. The fans would love a fight like this. And then as far as Angulo and Lara, we already seen what happened the first time, and it ended in a semi-controversial way or a unique way. So this would kind of be the stalemate, the deal breaker. Like, we'll see who is the better fighter out of the two, barring Angulo doesn't get his eye fucked up like that. And then the winner of both can fight each other at the end. Let me know what you guys think. Egos Matchmakers. I personally like this pick. Think it's a hell of a matchup. Let me know what you guys think. Would you love to see this or would you not? As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.